And this question's a little bit different. We're reading the question, we see that it says, determine the radius. Okay? And when we look on our formula sheets, we have no formulas on our formula sheets that say radius equals. So now we're going to have to say, do we know relationships between formulas? What information are we given here? Okay? We're given height. We're given volume. So when you go to your formula sheet, you look for, do I have formulas for height or do I have formulas for volume of cones? Okay? And I do have a formula for the volume. We know that volume of a cone is 1/3. And when you look on your formula sheet, you'd probably go to the one that already has the base. The base is a circle, pi r squared. Whoops, that's not squared. Pi r squared times the height. Now we want to find out this radius. So in order to do that, we have to ask, can we put in numbers for all the other variables? Do we know the volume? Yes. The volume is 300. Pi is a number. We don't know r, so we can rewrite that. Do we know the height? Yes. And it's the right height. It's not the slant height, so we're perfect there. So again, we're going to use our skills to get that r all by itself. Right now, this r is being squared and multiplied by 1/3, multiplied by pi, and multiplied by 8. If I want all those multiplication things on the other side, the opposite of multiplying by 1/3, multiplying by pi, and multiplying by 8 is dividing. So I'll do that to both sides. I'll divide by 1/3. That'll cancel that out. I'll divide by pi, and I'll divide by 8 on both sides. What am I going to have left on the right side? Just r squared. And again, you can go to your calculator. You can go alpha f1 to get to a fraction. And if I type it in exactly as I see it, 300 on top, 1 divided by 3 on the bottom, pi and times 8, or you could put that 8 in brackets, and push enter. 35.8 is what r squared would be. What's the opposite of squaring? Square rooting. Go back to my calculator, and I can just go square root my answer, 5.98. Check. Did it ask us to round to the nearest something? To the nearest meter, so it'll be 6 meters as a final answer. If you really, really like the fraction stuff, when you're typing it into your calculator, I'll show you a couple other things. Sometimes you make a mistake and you'd like to retype something. So you can push second enter, that retypes what you had last. Second enter again, that gets you to the one before. And if I had wanted to even in this one, so I can go back to this, 1/3, delete it, delete it, delete it. And I'm going to, if you ever need to insert something, above the delete button is insert. So I'm going to insert a fraction in there. And I could have even had that 1/3 look like that. A fraction inside of a fraction, and pushed enter and got the same thing.